Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sheleta Nicole and I'm just being me. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Alright guys, let's get into it. So today we're doing Healthy Hair 101. Y'all excited? I am. So today guys, I am not going to be before you long at all, but today we're going to be talking about split ends. That is like a hot topic, wouldn't you guys say? Getting your ends trimmed is so super important. So today I just want to give you like a little guidance, a little info on getting your ends trimmed, the type of ends trim, how often we should get our ends trimmed, and you know, just like little things like that. Also, following our discussion, I have a detailed trim video just for you guys to check out. You know, some people find it satisfying to watch people get their ends trimmed, so I thought that I would just do something hands-on so that you guys can tell the difference in the hair just from a visual standpoint. So guys, trimming your hair actually promotes hair growth. Did you know that? I know it sounds kind of, yeah, you know, she's probably just telling me that just to be telling me that so she can cut my hair. But no, for real, it literally helps your hair to grow. I cannot stand to see split ends. I cannot stand to see ends that need to be trimmed. Not only do it affect the way that your hair look, it affects the way that your hair feel, it affects the way that your hair cooperates. Like, hair that needs to be trimmed is just like your hair's blah. A question that is asked all the time: how often should I get my ends trimmed? Well, that is easy, but then it can become complex in some ways. So guess what? We're going to answer that question right here, right now, from my perspective, of course. Okay, so a basic time frame. So 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, and sometimes up to 3 months. Okay, so here lately, a lot of people get blowouts, whether you're relaxed, whether you're natural. The blowout is just the thing. And so blowout, you're blow drying the hair, you're flat ironing the hair. So you're doing a lot to the hair. With my clients, everybody that get a blowout, everybody that gets a flat iron, I highly suggest deep conditioners with that service. With the deep conditioner, it protects the hair, but in those instances when you're still doing your wear and tear, when you're rubbing against fabric, when you're doing like certain things, you're gonna have that moment when it's like, okay, it's time to get those ends trimmed. So 6 weeks is like a basic, you know, 6 weeks. Then you have some people that you can push to 8. Then you have some people that you can push to 12, because at the end of the day, I have my client, most of my clients come every 2 weeks. Then I have a handful that will come every relaxer or come every time to get their ends trimmed if they're natural, just to get it blown out, get those ends trimmed, and then they bounce back to that natural state, however they care to style it or whatever. Your stylist can give you the best idea as to when you should get your ends trimmed, how you should get your ends trimmed, what works best for you. You have some people that may get shampoo, roller set, and that's it. Now, to me, that's going to be your typical client that does not need a trim as often. You see, because you have getting under the hair dryer with your roller sets, then you have the person that's getting the blow dry, the silk out, and the flat iron. You know, it's just so many things that can attribute to split ends and torn ends. Even surprisingly, health issues will cause a significant difference in your hair when it comes to your ends. The number one that I can think about right here, right now, is definitely thyroid. Thyroid affects your trim. I can trim a client that has thyroid and they can come back in 2 weeks and it looked like they never got their ends trimmed. So when they come back, it's like, well, wait a minute. But in that, it's not even what they get done to their hair, it's how their body is reacting to that disease, to the thyroid, you know. So like if they're medicated and if their medication is to a certain level, like it has to be balanced out. So it's like, okay, so I can always tell when the medication is either turned up, turned down, they're not taking it at all, because I can tell in those ends. Now, it's not every case that your ends are just toe slam up, but I can always tell when something has changed. So the thing about not getting your ends trimmed is if you don't get your ends trimmed, split ends do not stop. Split ends just continue to go up, 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 and up the shaft. And it will continue to go until you nip it in the bud, get those shears, get that comb, and get to trimming those ends, baby, okay? Let's talk about the benefits of trimming your hair. You avoid split ends. It helps to eliminate frizziness. It keeps your hair knot free when you're trying to do your detangling. It prevents hair damage. It makes your hair so much easier to style. It keeps your hair healthy. And it also encourages hair growth. So guys, let's talk about all of the different split ends. First of all, I found a little chart on Google, and I never knew that this existed, you know. Yeah, I'm a hairstylist. I never knew that all of these type of ends existed, baby. I thought a split end was a split end was a split end. Okay, so they got names. So I said, you know what? We doing this segment, so I'm just gonna put it up there to entertain the people, and we gonna do this right here together. Okay, we gonna learn these names and stuff together, cause what? Okay, guys. So we have your traditional split end, as you can see on our chart here. It says the most common type of split end, the result of dryness, friction, and a host of other causes. Okay, we're gonna go straight across. Okay, we have a baby split. Oh, they sound like they talking my language, like, you know, the baby ends. You want a baby trim? This right here says the baby split. So this says the beginning of a normal split end. Hurry up and cut this type of split end before it worsens. So, okay, so a baby split end is okay, so I can use this as an example. A baby split end is at your 6-week point. Sometimes at your 6-week point, those ends may still be perfect. You know what I'm saying? So with the baby end, this right here is what I would consider getting a actual true trim. And when I say a true trim, I mean like just a little graze across and nothing else. That's when you get a trim. You know how some people say, well, I mean, every time I grow some hair, I gotta cut it. Because baby, how long did you wait to get that trim? Because as we said before, if you have split ends and you do not trim your hair, those split ends do not stop in place. Those split ends continue to travel up your hair shaft, and that's just what it is. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, baby split, the baby split is where you want to definitely get your trim. So if that's 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks for you, y'all, get the trim. Hey guys, then we have a triple split. Okay, the triple split is a weakened cuticle layer that causes the cuticle to peel away from a strong cortex. Double Y split is a traditional split where the branches are forming new splits. So not only is your end split, but off that split is more splits. And this is a good example for my clients that have thyroid, how it's just like a continual process, and those ends are like That's a really good example. Okay guys, so our next one is a incomplete split. The incomplete split is rough styling, causes the hair to weaken at a specific spot, but the hair fails to completely split. So this is that, this is when they say rough styling. So when you're doing your blow drying, some people, I know that Caucasian clients, they'll use that round brush at times. And also in our ethnic group, they'll use that round brush. And if you don't know what you're doing with that thing, you can tear some stuff up, okay? That round brush, your blow drying, your flat ironing, all of these things can contribute to these type of split ends, simply because either your heat is too hot, or like the rough styling with that brush, you just going in there, going. You know how at the top of your hair, like somebody can have a blowout or a flat iron, like, you know, you can see it real good on TV, and you just see them little spriggies just bing, just sprigging up there. That is from rough styling. Now there is a healthy way for, first of all, heat is heat. Rough styling, blow drying, all that is stuff, but there is a way to do it to where we can still protect your hair and still achieve a beautiful, healthy style, okay? Our last but not least split that we have up here on our chart is gonna be the long split. It says hairpins and other hair accessories causes the hair to weaken and split at a specific spot. So y'all know, like when we do our ponytails really not a thing, but some people still tend to wear those ponytails, or you know, if you have a drawstring ponytail, think about that comb. Think about the comb on both ends, the top and the bottom, and think about placing it in that same place. So say 2 weeks I wear that ponytail with that have those combs in it, and I wear that ponytail and it's attached to my head, and some people take it down, some people keep it up there for 2 weeks, then I take it down, then I get my hair shampooed really good, and then I put that ponytail right back up there in that same spot. Now if you continue to do that, it's going to definitely weaken your stuff. Yes, we can definitely watch where we put it, how we put it, but we're doing it repetitively. We're doing it repetitively, the same spot, and if you're not moving that thing around and placing it in different sections and places, you're gonna rub that spot the wrong way. You have to really be careful with things like that. Hair pieces, hair bows. That's why when I have little girls, when they have their ponytails, I highly suggest some parents allow their children to sleep with their bows on. And you can take the bows off, keep the shape of the ponytail, leave it twisted or braided or however, but that top bow that's up there holding that hair together, take that thing off, let that hair breathe, baby, okay? Tie it up or put their little bonnet on, and then in the morning you could, you know, do your brushing or however you're gonna do that, because as you continue to let those babies go to bed with those ponytail holders in, it's already pulling their little hair, and then they sleeping on it. They waking up and sleeping, waking up and sleeping. Next thing you know, you're gonna notice those edges are receding back, or you know, same thing with wigs, same thing with ponytails. It's the same process either way. It's almost like anything that you do, if you do too much of it, it's going to affect you in either a good way or a bad way. So hopefully this video and this particular segment helps somebody out. I always want to be able to be of help to someone. So guys, I'm not going to hold you any further here. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our live trimming. All right, let's get into it. Okay guys, here we are. My client has been shampooed, she has been conditioned, and we're here to do these ends. So check out these ends. It's probably been about 16 weeks since she has had her ends trimmed, and as you can see, they are needed terribly. So with this particular client, yes, I did get her permission to film this footage. I don't want to say begged and pleaded her to get her ends trimmed, but each time I said, okay, those ends are getting a little rough. She is a relaxed client. And so when we do relaxers, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, those ends are trimmed. But in this case, we went 16 weeks. And as you can see, her ends are completely demolished. So as I said, when you don't trim your ends, the split ends continue to travel up your shaft. Okay, so I just took that basic line, and so now I'm going to get in depth with the trim. So as I comb the hair out, you can clearly see what needs to come off, where the hair is looking very thin and kind of brittle. That's what we want to take off, guys. We're going to go through, we're going to use that as our guide, and we're going to get these ends straightened out. As you can see, it's already looking better just by me taking off that little thin layer at the bottom. So we're going to go through, we're going to get these ends off. You see that? It needs to come off. It's looking nice and shabby. I could read a book through them ends. And we don't want that. We want to have the hair nice and full all the way through. Look at that. Look up there. It needs to come right on off. Now I'm going through each section of her hair. In some cases, just the bottom layer is enough. But in other instances, you have to comb through and get all of those ends off. And you can clearly see what needs to come off. So it's very important that you do get every split end taken care of, because like we said earlier in our presentation, if you do not, the split ends will continue to travel up. So say a client comes in and they don't necessarily want to cut all of their split ends off. I just have a conversation with them and I'm honest with them and I let them know, okay, if we cut what we do cut off, that's not going to solve the problem. We may as well cut every single thing off, because if we don't, it's not no need for me to cut some of the problem off. We need to cut all of the problem off. So if this client would have cut her ends off as we needed them to come off, look, it's looking better already. Look how smooth her hair shaft is. That right there is some healthy hair. See how thin and frail that looks? You take it right on off. Right on off. So now we're on the road to recovery. Now her hair is amazingly healthy. Those ends, not so much. Just getting all that off. I want it to be very, very detailed. I wanted you guys to see. Now, for some reason, this portion got cut off, but that's okay. So yeah, we're going all the way through. So now I'm just combing through, getting everything where it needs to be. And yeah. Look at that. Nice and crispy. Just checking my cut. And it is looking amazing. I always like to go through. I always like to fine tune. If I see something out of place, I'm definitely going to take care of it. And that right there is what it is. So now, guys, I am going around the outer perimeter of my client's hair, and I am just going to do a final dusting of the ends just to make it nice and tight. Get any last minute pieces that need to be taken care of. It's already looking good, but you want to get the last minute dusting off. I was trying to get to where you guys could see, but yeah. Y'all get my drift. Okay, so we're going through, getting the last minute trim in, and she is well on her way to continue the healthy hair. We got her back where she needs to be. Now, when she comes back for her next trim, which will be her relaxer time, it just got out of hand this particular time. But, yeah. Here is our final trim. Would you look at there? We're all done.